Do you know what the sixth leading cause of death is in the United States? Probably not, because who's going to know that right off the top of their head? It's Alzheimer's. This is the most common form of dementia that there is. It accounts for 60 to 80% of all dementia cases. This is a disease which has taken the lives of so many and will forever change the lives of many more. An estimated 5.5 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's currently. Only 200,000 of those people are under the age of 65. The lifespan of people with Alzheimer's is around 8 years after the symptoms become noticeable. These people are slowly dying and aging faster than a normal human should. Imagine one of these 5.5 million people is a family member of yours that you love. It is going to tear you apart as their conditions slowly get worse and worse. Alzheimer's ruins many lives, which is why more funding should go into researching a way to cure or eliminate Alzheimer's.
There are many diseases in the stage of Alzheimer's, 7 to be exact. The first 5 stages are just when the disease is becoming worse, and the last 2 stages are when the disease is at its worst. The first stage does not have any impairment. At this point, nobody can notice that you have Alzheimer's, and you don't even notice it. A physician couldn't detect it, and your family members and loved ones can't detect it either. During the second stage, you will notice a very mild decline. At this point, the senior may have small memory problems, forgetting their keys, forgetting what day it is, small stuff like that. By the third stage, it is an increasing decline. At this part in the disease, family members and loved ones or physicians will be able to detect the disease. During the fourth stage, it'll be hard to go through day-to-day activities. It will be hard to plan events, to remember events you have to go to, or remember birthdays, holidays, things like that. The fifth stage is a severe moderate decline. This is when you start forgetting how to do day-to-day activities, forgetting how to tie your shoes, forgetting how to button a shirt the right way, forgetting small things that may not seem like a lot, but it's very hard to go through your day without them. Then there are the last 2 stages, and the last 2 stages are the worst of the entire disease. The last 2 stages are the 6th and 7th stage. The 6th stage of the disease, this is where you need day-to-day care. You need supervision on you. You may need help with some things, but you don't need to be in a facility yet. You don't need to be in a nursing home. At this point, the senior would need to be watched and help with certain things like how to eat and tying their shoes and things like that, and getting dressed in the morning and remembering where they're supposed to go and what they're supposed to do, going to doctor's appointments, managing their finances, things like that. But they wouldn't need supervision 24/7. During the 7th stage is when it becomes a terminal illness. At this point, it'll be hard for the senior to function, respond, or really do anything. At this point, the senior won't know what to do with who they are. They won't really remember who they are. They'll forget things about themselves, and they'll forget things about their family. They might even forget their entire family. They'll need help tying their shoes, putting on clothes, remembering how to eat. They'll remember to utter words or phrases, but they won't be able to carry a full conversation for very long. It's hard to get them to anyways. Alzheimer's is something that's affected my family, and it's affected many families across America. There are many symptoms about Alzheimer's, which you'll learn about soon.
Patients with Alzheimer's show memory problems as one of the first symptoms. They are usually very forgetful, especially when talking about recent occurrences, more commonly known as short-term memory loss. Not remembering conversations or appointments with others or important events are common. Alzheimer's patients will also ask the same question or repeat their previous statements over and over again. They are likely to misplace their possessions, typically having left them in odd places. Remembering names of familiar people and objects also usually becomes difficult eventually at some point during this disease. The second kind is disorientation. Disorientation and confusion are witnessed right from the early stages of Alzheimer's. Getting lost in familiar places and treating familiar objects as unknown is another normal sign. In older individuals, these symptoms are often mistaken as ordinary aging process. However, as the disease progresses and the symptoms become more severe, it is hard to maintain such assumptions. It is usually recommended that in older individuals, early signs of disorientation should not be taken lightly and should be investigated to assess the possible cause. The third third symptom would be trouble with comprehension. Alzheimer's also diminishes one's ability to apprehend what is going on around them in full measure. They usually face difficulty in what they observe and presumptions. Ordinary activities begin to seem incomprehensive and odd for them to be able to do. Problems in vision may also lead to impaired ability to read, judge distances, and determine colors. Over time, the grasp over the abstract notions becomes highly weak and numbers become difficult to understand. Usually calculations is nearly impossible. There is also a general lack of understanding of social dictates and observances. Social propriety becomes more and more lacking in suffering individuals as time progresses. The fourth symptom is problems with speech and writing. Since the brain's ability to comprehend and make accurate decisions is diminished, difficulties in speech and writing also become worse over time. Patients begin struggling with vocabulary, unable to find the right words to certain objects, or even begin struggling naming people they know. A common tendency is to stop midway during conversations, seemingly unable to continue with whatever one is saying or losing their train of thought. Usually, allusions become more common in their speech and in very advanced stages, language may become highly disoriented for others to understand. Alzheimer patients may also find alphabets and scripts unfamiliar and undecipherable, which naturally poses an impediment to their reading capacity. The fifth symptom is poor judgment. People with Alzheimer's are found to have a diminished sense of judgment so that they make uncharacteristic and unintelligent decisions. They may spend or invest money frivolously. They may begin sharing confidential information with absolute strangers. Those who drive may exhibit an absolute lack of traffic sense. Instances of poor judgment may also reflect in grooming and self-care. Patients may begin dressing inappropriately and investing very little maintenance in maintaining cleanliness and hygiene. In advanced stages of the condition, many patients require a full-time help in carrying out routine activities, including using the toilet properly. This is particularly common in more aged individuals who may have other conditions that hamper ordinary activity and movement. The sixth one would be changes in mood and personality. The alteration of chemical balance in the brain also affects behavioral changes in patients. Many patients suffering from this disease may be found to be increasingly depressed. They may become irritable and aggressive, or highly prone to recurrent mood swings. As the disease gets worse, most patients exhibit the tendency of social withdrawal and disinterest in interaction with anyone. This becomes highly problematic in situations where patients are dependent upon others for the routine of functioning, and become stubborn or uncooperative in interacting with them.
Some ways to lower the risk of getting Alzheimer's. Although there has been research done to prove that changing your lifestyle, diet, and physical activities to be more productive helps lower the risk of getting other diseases such as heart diseases and diabetes, which are linked to Alzheimer's. Your first step to lowering your risk is getting a brain healthy lifestyle. Regular exercise. According to Alzheimer's Research and Prevention Foundation, regular physical exercise can reduce your risk of developing Alzheimer's disease up to 50%. What's more, exercise can also slow further deterioration in those who have already started to develop cognitive problems. Exercise protects against Alzheimer's by stimulating the brain's ability to maintain old connections as well as making new ones. Next step is social engagement. Human beings are better and more active when being social with others. Rather than being a solo or by yourself, making and maintaining a strong network of friends is a priority which will help you down the road. Next in the steps is a healthy diet. According to Melinda Smith for Help Guide, Alzheimer's is sometimes described as, in quotes, the diabetes of the brain. And a growing body of research suggests strong link between metabolic disorders and the signal processing systems. By adjusting your eating habits, however, you can help reduce inflammation and protect your brain. Now, there's two main things that you try and cut out is a lot of fatty foods and sugars. Next in this step line is quality sleep. To help regulate sleep, you need to create a regular sleeping schedule and maintain that. Also, getting screened for sleep apnea is key. Treatment for sleep apnea can be a huge difference in health and sleep quality. Lastly in the steps is stress management. Key tips for keeping your stress level down. First, you need to breathe. Make it a point to do a daily relaxation exercises in your day. Make inner peace for yourself and have fun. And lastly, have a sense of humor.
I researched Alzheimer's and the specific statistics it has in America. In America, more than 5 million Americans are actually living with Alzheimer's today. Now, Alzheimer's is the 6th leading cause of death in America. And Alzheimer's is the only cause of death in the top 10 in America that is not preventable, it's not cured, and it's not slowed. And actually, every 66 seconds, someone develops Alzheimer's disease. Very scary stats. Now, Alzheimer's and death. Alzheimer's, since 2000, has increased over 89%. And compare this to heart disease, which has only rose 14% from 2000. It shows how big of a problem Alzheimer's disease is in America. Alzheimer's disease itself kills more people than prostate and breast cancer combined. And 1 in 3 seniors die with Alzheimer's or some sort of dementia when they go, which just shows how prevalent it is in America. Now, who gets it? Actually, 2 out of 3 people who have Alzheimer's are going to be women because women are more prone to Alzheimer's. Also, Hispanics and African Americans have a greater chance of developing Alzheimer's compared to Caucasians.
Sadly, there is no cure for Alzheimer's disease. They are working on finding one, though. There are treatment options that consist of medication, therapy, and housing. The medication options aren't the greatest, states John H. Gowden, an MD at Massachusetts General Hospital. Therapy would consist of occasionally meeting with a counselor to try and remember or refresh one's mind and memories of the past. Housing is the best option for someone suffering from Alzheimer's disease. They are under constant supervision, and family and friends still reach out if it's necessary. It is best if the family only comes around every once in a while at first. That way the patient does not get scared and act out. They don't understand why they don't remember you, and when you are constantly telling them that you are their family member or someone close to them, they start to get stressed and it can make things worse. After it becomes more of a habit to see you, then you can come and visit more, and slowly start to tell them about memories from the past.